Welcome to the First Media Consulting Podcast, The Business Chronicles.
Everybody, it's a very good pleasure to introduce to you our next guest, Neta. He owns a company called Augment Wellness. And well, let's just start and saying, how are you, Neta?
Hey, Didier, thank you for having me. Great being on your show.
You're very, very welcome.
I'm doing well.
Absolutely. So the purpose of this podcast is to dive into the minds of successful business owners like yourself and to discover their aha moments. You know, every business owner has something that really triggered them to say, you know, I want to go forward and do this business, right? And some of the key decisions and the drive behind their success. If you find this content helpful, listeners, please, comment, like, or subscribe to the channel. I really would appreciate that. Plus, he's also going to share some actionable advice for aspiring entrepreneurs, those that are looking to start their business that are kind of like teetering on the fence and don't know how to move forward. So, Neta, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. And if you can share with our listeners a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so perfect. So yeah, I'm Neta Ravid. I'm here in the Orlando area, living in Popka, just north of Orlando. And my background, basically, I started my career as an accountant in a CPA firm, doing this in the finance world, working for many corporate, listed, non-listed, communication, health device. This is actually what bring me here to Orlando. We opened the US branch, and I moved here to help and manage the US headquarters for that time. It was called the Robotics Guidance System for spine and brain surgery. So I've been in this field. This company actually bought by Medtronic at the time in 2019, and now it's the robotic system actually helped with spine surgery all over the US under the Medtronic umbrella, which is a bigger one. So it was a huge success at the time. I moved forward for another corporate in the agriculture here in Orlando, really pioneer startups trying to grow lettuce and other green leaves inside warehouses, hydroponic wise with water. It was really interesting time, and also, but at some point I start to get the feeling that I need to make some change in my life, and and this is how I came up. And at the end of the road, it was a bumpy road, but after a long time with myself, with family, with friends, with classes I took and other instructions that were helping me, I found this Augment Wellness, which is basically a wellness studio somewhere in the arena between the spa and the gym. So I think it's a new arena. And what we try to do is basically take a lot of biohacking modalities, do it yourself, and give the people the empower to take the power of the well-being and wellness in their hand, and literally help them to take care of themselves.
It seems
good, with body and mind, which going together.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I think everything is going towards that. It's body, mind, wellness. And it seems like when I was looking at your website, I mean, you offer cold immersion hydrotherapy. You offer hot contrast immersion hydrotherapy, compression therapy, infrared sauna, red light therapy, which I'm sure a lot of our listeners have heard about, red light therapy, hollow salt therapy, PEMF. Can you explain maybe one or two of those services that you provide?
Sure, yeah, I would love to. And actually, this is what's so unique in this studio, which we bring so many modalities as you described to one place. So when I tried to see something similar, I was able to go to a floating tank, which is great, but it's only float tank. So to a infrared sauna place, you get only the infrared sauna. Here we bring a really wide option of different
Services. Yep.
of services that you can that each one can pick, and then we recommend on one, uh, wellness recovery center, which take about an hour, where you go through a circle of modalities, starting with the compression, with brain tap, which is more meditation, go to the infrared, and end in the cold plunge. And I mentioned cold plunge because I think this is what brings me to this arena. Uh, Again, I tried on myself many things when I got to this age, when I felt a little bit, non-energetic, suddenly the muscle are waking up in the morning and something is hurt. It's not, you know,
It starts to hurt as you get, as you get older. Is that what you're saying pretty
yes,
much?
yes.
Okay.
But it's not supposed to be that way, But
Right.
I think our Western life, which is great, the lifestyle, which is great, probably is the best time to be on earth in one way. In the other end, we a bit of forgot how to be connected with our body and our mind, and to run to the shortcut, I call it,
Right.
which is great to lift you up, but not as a way of living. The way of living is to find something that more natural for you, and and can go with you long run as we age. So anyway, when I was looking into it, so I was start looking, and I through YouTube I found this guy which name is Wim Hof. He's from Netherlands, and he has a method of breathing, cold plunge, and kind of between yoga and meditation. So three pillars that together, when I tried on myself, I thought I actually immediately see the difference and the benefit. Like cold plunge, I can talk a lot about all the benefits, and today there is also research behind it. Um,
Let's
but
talk, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let's talk about some of those benefits, for our
sure,
listeners.
yeah. But before I start, the best way is to feel it. So we will go
Yes.
over it, but the best way is my way is try it yourself and see by yourself. But when I look at your smile, so the first thing that I can think of about the benefit is basically the adrenaline and the dopamine that release in the body once we are in the cold tub. During, again, it's not fun, but 2-3 minutes of suffer, and once you get out, you get all these benefits, and the huge smile, and the feeling is basically free drugs that that you can actually are there, and you just need
So
to
it
take it.
so it basically rejuvenates your body, the services that you're offering, correct?
Yes, so other than the dopamine and the adrenaline, which they are compared to a bungee jump, so 350% more than standard, you get
Wow.
it through 2 minutes in a cold plunge. So just think about the amount of adrenaline and dopamine that you get, again, naturally. The other main benefit is getting rid of the inflammation. So inflammation actually it's a good reaction of the body. The problem if inflammation stay in your body for a long time, then it creates the pain and disease and the bad stuff that we don't want and want to get rid. So by doing the cold plunge, you basically get rid of the inflammation. This is why you hear so many athletes like NBA, NFL, soccer players,
Right.
football players that doing after the games, they're going into the cold plunge in order to recover. So basically the inflammation, getting rid of the inflammation, help you with fast recovery. And lastly, it's basically the immune system. So we are really boosting the immune system. I will not go through the whole biological, but there is more and more research that support it. That by doing the cold plunge on a weekly or bi-weekly or daily, if you're there, so you're really boosting the immune system and keep you healthy. So this is our if we are healthy, we are happier and we
Absolutely.
feel better. So
Absolutely. This is so much great information that you're providing for our listeners. Just the business itself and all the services that you provide. It's kind of like you said, brain. What is it? The brain, the body,
yeah, the
and
brain and the body and
and your
and your mind.
and your mind.
So in order to
Well,
one of the when I say people ask me how much time I need to go into the cold plunge,
right,
and I tell them once you're accepting the cold is like a teacher. Once you accept it and you are feel comfortable in the uncomfortable, the practice is done.
I like that
So
so much.
so and this is more for our body and our body, and mind shifting um, between the sympathetic,
Right,
statue to the parasympathetic. So the fly or the fight or fly mode, which automatically when we go into the cold, it's like attacking us. We want to fight or flight, like very stressful, and
right.
we want to basically to try and teach our mind and body to relax and go into the digest and relaxing mode uh, under this uh, pressure or under this uncomfortable situation. After in life, when we stand in front of a crowd and we want to speak, and usually we feel all our emotion, we are kind remind ourselves how to relax and control our mind, although we are under pressure. So you do it in the cold, but actually you take it into other aspect of your life and manage the stress in much better way.
I like that so much, man. I mean, you kind of give a whole picture of what you're doing for your mind, your body, in your wellness, and that's pretty powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and this is only
Let's
this is only what again how in one service we cover the body, we cover the mind, we cover our it's going into deep in our soul and create an aspect or create an impact on any aspect of our life. By the way, once you are getting out of the cold, the training is not over because the metabolism is still working and we are burning
what
calorie even after.
even
So
after. So let's dive in to, there's a number of listeners that are actually listening to this podcast. And can you provide that want to be aspiring business owners? Can you give some advice to those who are looking to start a business in general?
sure, and I very I'm not mature and I'm not coming here with 10, 20 businesses that this is my first business, but
No,
I
that's
can
okay.
but I can just follow my process. So for me the first thing is to think what what you know what can you give or what can you share with other. uh, Sometimes it's come with actually where you felt some difficulties. This is where you can contribute the most, and I will give an example about myself. I started the cold plant because I felt again, I felt not really good with myself. I went to the doctor and he told me, "Oh, you are 40, over 40. You are, you have family. It's standard life. This is life."
Right.
Yeah, sometimes there is. We are not feeling so well here. I have this pill that will make you feel much good, and I start taking that, and the antidepressant, which I think I don't know how many in the population or how many of your listener knows or maybe had it before. And at some point I felt that I didn't feel the antidepressant, but I felt that, I'm not really happy anymore. So it's kind of straight level. And I say, no, thought with myself, this is not the way that I want to live.
Correct.
Like, I prefer to go maybe sometimes down, but also to feel the happiness and the excitement and the living,
Right.
the feeling of I'm living. This is how I start to explore about myself, what can make a benefit. So I'm saying, for you, if you like to have friends and family come to eat dinner with you and you like to cook, maybe this is, or you find food is something
you're passionate
that
about.
help you.
Right.
This is maybe your track. So try to find something that you are good and you can share with others. You had some difficulty and you overcome, and now you want to share with others.
That's good advice. And when I speak to a number of business owners on this platform, what they say is find your passion, right? Find something that you like to do and that you believe in that's going to kind of give back. And I think you kind of hit that when you said, if you love food and that's something you really like, you're good at, and you want to share it with others, start a business, doing that. And I think just based on your background, what's led you in the past to where you're at today, Neta, is phenomenal, man. And like I said, I'm going to wish you best success for you and your business. Before we wrap up here, can you give our listeners your phone number and how they can get a hold of you, your website?
Sure, yeah. So we will be opened our gate in December, so right before the holidays. So this will be a great experience during the holiday time. We have the cold plunge, we have the sauna, we have the float tank, we have the steam room. So really, each one can find its own modalities. My phone number is 321-900-5724, and feel free to contact. But the best way is to go online at our augmentwellness.com, look for the Wekiva Spring location and find us and come visit. We have a great, what we are doing is right now is creating actually a community of wellness. So people in the area that want to feel good and be in a good feeling with others. So we create a community, and this is also one of my goals. It's not only feel good with yourself, also share it with our other and create a community that support each other. So
I like that.
Thank you so much.
No, I really do like that. Feel good with yourself, but share it with others. That's pretty powerful, man. That's very good. Well, thank you so much, and hopefully we can have you for being a guest and sharing your business with our listeners, and hopefully we can have you back in the near future as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to First Media Consulting Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe today. To nominate a business you would like to recommend to be on our show, go to firstmediaconsulting.com or call. Thank you for listening.